Guys, before the video gets started, I just want to say head on over to boosted-ride.com. Everything is 30% off on the website. Boosted Ride merch, that is. Keychain, the 2 shirts. Head on over there. 30% off till the end of the year. So get yourself something while it's on sale. Just doing this for the end of the year. Hopefully generate some extra funds for our bad habits here before the end of the year. So head on over, boosted-ride.com. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's get to the video. All right, welcome back to the Boosted Ride YouTube channel. Man, we're making upgrades, Jason. Microphones? Test. Well, let us know if the quality is any better. You know, they're kind of just some Amazon mics, but...
Or you hear some heavy breathing.
Yeah, Jason. Oh. Anyways, guys. So, we're here in the shop. We're tearing the blower apart because when we were doing the... Oh, we're doing the leak down. And as I was holding the breaker bar inside the drive in the blower here, I was trying to hold it. And, man, when the motor went to turn over, because it wasn't at true top dead center, when you put air in a cylinder... You know, it's trying to turn it over, pass compression, push the piston down. Long story short, I was holding the bar, and it sounded like teeth grinding inside of here. But other than a little bit of metallic, all this gray stuff, I say a little bit, and I pointed all this gray stuff here, I think it's fine, Jason. Let's put it this way. It's going to have to be.
Yep.
So all these teeth inside of here, which are very fine spline, they look fine. They engage into this drive. And then obviously you've got 2 gears here. There's nothing in the back. All it does is rests inside bearing plates in the back. So there's nothing else to really look at. This is all its own cavity. And that's everything you see. So maybe it's just the mesh of the gear. I know we just had it over to Rudy over at RMP Blowers. So thank you to him for helping us out. And I don't know. It's just been gone through. So we're going to send it. We got $10,000 on the line at this next one, Jason. Other than that, plug wires got to be made. What else do we have to do? Oh, we need a different power steering belt. That one's a little bit shorter. So leak down checked out good. Compression test was fine. So I think if we put that back together, give it a little clean job, and then we're going to run 2050 motor oil in this going forward to try and thicken it up. We'll give that a shot just to run something thicker. We've been running a little bit thinner oil, but with methanol, we're going to bump up to something a little thicker. Clear view checked out fine. Other than that, I'm working on some stuff up front. We're going to try and get this thing tidied up, and push rods are here for Death Trap. So maybe after we put this back together, we can jump over there, try and get both of these 2 wrapped up. And if you guys aren't following SAP Engines, I'm not sure if it's already been out when this video comes out or it'll come out shortly after that, but Jason's motor for the Gen 3 Hemi, it's currently sitting on the dyno, missing some parts.
Yeah.
Because we're idiots, like usual. But it's on the dyno, ready to make power. So I don't know. What's your guess? Maybe we can have these guys guess. It's got to be 4 digits.
Well, yeah, I hear you. Better be.
1069 or post down below what your guys' guesses are. I don't know. I'm gonna go 1150. It should do that. If you take what the LS made, you add the cubic inch, that's over 1,000. The heads flow a lot better. It's a 1471 blower. It's just overall better motor. It should be. So 1150. Jason, guess.
1269.
1269. I'll go 1169 then. All right, well, we'll get over on Death Trap after we get this one back together. Make sure that everything's good there. And then probably do a little bit of work on this one. And then, guys, check out SAP Engines. All right, update for the night. Jason, what'd you get done?
Not a lot.
Oh, I mean, got a little bit. Blower, like I showed you, checked out good. So that's all back together. Belt's back on. Need a power steering belt. And basically plug wires. I think we're good, aren't we? Oh, let's check the list here. Plug wires, power steering belt. We need to get our oil. Oh, and I got to take care of that ECU. So that takes care of that. Death Trap, we've got to get the power steering belt, injectors, baffles. So on the catch tank here for Death Trap, we're going to put this back on. And I just welded a straight tube on with a breather. We're going to get a set of these tubes that have 2 dual baffles in it, I guess you'd say. Something like that. So we're going to put 2 of them on the Death Trap with baffles in it. And then I need to get a hold of Jack at Billet Atomizer because I've got one of the injectors was basically hung open. I mean, it worked, but it flowed way more than it should have. We got to get the push rods put in. We need oil for that. And then what's the list for the other one here? Let's check. It's looking like
one important thing.
motor. The rest is to follow after the motor. So unknown name. I don't know. I think Jason's got some stuff in mind because he's got a few things that he had from, you know, maybe like his pulling truck that you never finished and sold. Yeah. Sold to do burnouts. Yeah, oh, boy, we're dumb. Much. So he's got some names in mind. Maybe you guys throw some stuff in the comments. I don't know. Maybe you got something better. But yeah, so motor. Like I said, SAP engines. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. So next clip, we'll be back over here, which will be a couple days. Get the push rods put in, finish this up, and probably fire up Burn and Green just to make sure everything's good again. And then we'll get Death Trap. But I got to get that injector before we can fire that up. And then I did go ahead and actually get everything tightened up on the rear end. Again, we were going to paint this, but we're out of time. So all the shock bolts been tightened up, all the 4-link bars. I put the spacers in here for the panhard. I had spacers cut and put in there so we didn't sandwich those plates together, both front and back. We do have a drive shaft, and we've got a new tail housing for this because it is broke here. And yeah, I wonder why that got broke. Yeah, I don't know. Jason would have to explain that one. And then we just need to pull the motor out and put the motor in, and then it's game on from there. Fuel lines, brake lines, electrical. Basically everything you need to do to build a truck, Jason. So plenty of time, guys. You know, this is not the last couple days before we leave. Jason's over here polishing. We should be working, but all right. So we'll see you in the next clip here. Like I said, working on the 2, finishing them up. Here's the current game plan. I'm trying to get a hold of Steve. I know he's at the PRI show, Steve Morris that is. And we're going to plan on slapping that motor in to here, fix the transmission. And to make it easier on ourselves, because we don't have a boatload of jets for that thing for mechanical, we are going to actually pull the mechanical off. So I'm sure people are going to be disappointed in that. But this is the easiest option we have to try and get it done. We have all weekend to try and get the motor in. It's been in, so obviously. But get all the lines done, the fuel system done. The wiring is just going to be temporarily put in. And a few other miscellaneous things. But we're going to go ahead and use the injectors off of the Camaro, which I still have sitting here. I think Jason had them sold, but unfortunately for that guy, I at least need them for one more weekend. So, and you know what? We might honestly just keep it. I don't know. Keep it EFI. I don't know. It is what it is. Comment down below, you know, mechanical, EFI, why one or the other. I don't know. Sometimes there's some internet experts out there. But that is the current game plan. So we got to get our butts in gear. So I need to get this thing pulled out. Get the transmission out. We need to do that front seal and tail shaft section that Jason broke a while back. And let's get that baby slapped in there, see what it's going to look like, how it fits, and start the long journey before next Thursday. Because if Steve can do it, we're going to have to dyno Iowa, Michigan, clear down to South Carolina. Sounds like a good road trip. All right, let's get to it. Well, updates. Jason showed up. Showed up. I mean, he did have to work today. I mean, I don't know if he actually worked, but he was there. He was present.
Tanner, he'll tell you.
Yeah. Tanner, let him know in the comments how your day went. Did some patchwork here. So got this sheet metal. I don't know if you can even see that. The light's glaring so bad. But anyways, this is all patched in. Well, don't look at the welds there. But Jason drilled a hole over there for a harness to go through. Open that up over there. I'll show him the train. We'll show him the wiring thing. So my dad and I went through this transmission here. We pulled the bell housing off so we could put a new pump gasket and O-ring around the pump. I think we just had a little bit of trimming that we did. I think the bell housing was actually hitting on it, and that's the reason why it wasn't sealing. And then we had that broken tail housing at the very tip back here where it actually... Jason, what happened to that?
No, I don't know.
It might have fell out of a 5-gallon bucket or something. But it's cleaned up. I put it on the forklift, sat over top of the parts washer, and got that cleaned up, back together, fresh, every part in there. We checked everything over there, Jason. Clutches look great.
Yeah, I
knocked a little dirt and everything in it for you. And then, yeah, so drilled the hole for now because we're kind of in a time crunch. But when we get done, we're going to eventually cut and put this bulkhead connector, which means I'll have to cut the entire harness in half. Yeah, it'll be something like that. I'll be back a little further because then Jason's got EGT bungs as well. A little, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a little plate just like that. So there. So we got a driver's and passenger of these. This will mount there right beside the bulkhead one. But yeah, we're going to do one of those on the driver's side, one on the passenger. But yeah, we got Dominator. What else we got? EGT. I need to wire up also this MSD relay box and then set the motor in, which we're going to do right now. Transmission. And we're almost ready to fire this thing up in the truck. We better get working. Getting closer. Well, the motor's in, so went ahead and got the motor mount bolts drilled in here. Jason needed the gold hardware to match the blower stuff, even though all this is going bye-bye anyways, all the lines. But if we ever go back to mechanical, you know, it'll match good. So I don't know what else we got. We got motor, tranny, the mounts are all in. It's done. It's in. I mean, it needs to come out so we can paint, but we ain't gonna worry about that right now. Drive shaft's in and fitted, so that's good. And everything in the rear end is tight. Just needs some fluid in the rear end. It's tight, Jason.
Got the headers on so we can mock stuff up.
Yep, exhaust is the biggest thing. I think at this point, we'll show you in a bit, but we're probably just going to run some tubes back just a little ways past the transmission, so we're hopefully not burning up training line or shift cables like we continue to do. And then dry sump lines, fuel lines, water lines. And I got to modify that radiator there from Holly. The inlet and outlet, we're going to cut those off. We're going to put AN, 16 AN, so we can run directly out of this motor plate here. We're going to read our coolant temp right out of there. This is the out, and then these lines here are the in. So we've got that. What is it? What brand is that? Davis Craig, or
yeah, sounds about right.
We better edit that out. But yeah, so we can run those lines to that water pump. But I don't know. There's a lot of work to do, but it's a lot of hoses, and the electrical stuff is just going to get thrown inside the cab. It's not going to look very pretty, but you know, enough to get it done, running, take it to Steve's. And then we do have to modify the plate. Whatever. We do have to modify the plate that goes on the blower because we're going to have to get rid of our adapter, unfortunately, and just put a 1/2-inch steel plate under here. Because the spray bar, which is over here on the bench, is not going to work because of the distance from this back hole to this back injector. There's not enough space because some guy decided to make the opening, you know, clear up here on this hat, which I just made it the same as in front of this flat spot, was the whole reasoning. So it's actually open underneath of here. So it's not going to work. So we'll put a different plate on here and make that work. But I think that's going to do it for tonight. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. If Jason shows up, and maybe we'll get
about 9 o'clock.
All right, so it'll be noon. So, all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, current status, Jason, where are we at? Looking a little different.
Don't look too different, though.
Well, that is true. So it's been a lot of time getting this plate milled out, opening up the hole, got the holes drilled and tapped into that 1/2-inch plate so we could bolt this on. So this is off of Death Trap. So I took that off of there so that way we can still get it up and forward. Otherwise, we were having problems getting the fuel injection up here. It was just wanting to run into the cowl. And I didn't feel like cutting it, unless Jason did. But we're kind of running out of time here. I mean, it's looking good, though. Show them bring that tank over here. So we're going to use We're going to use a second dry sump tank, and we're going to mount this down inside the front grill, which we got to get a couple pieces of angle iron for. And we added the bungs on the side down there. So 2 on the driver's side and 1's over there on the passenger side. That's going to be for our breather. So we're going to 180 out of this valve cover on the driver's, and the passenger side will just be a 45 or something. Then send them down through here, around, and hook them right up to the tank. So hopefully this is going to give us enough capacity to run all of them in there. And I think we're going to put another breather on the top as well. And then the other actual dry sump tank is sitting over there that mounts on the passenger side firewall. Anything else that we actually do? It kind of feels like we didn't do anything after talking that.
The brakes.
Brakes are on. So we got, what are they, 4-piston?
Yep.
4-piston Willwoods on the front. And then we got the Willwood master cylinder here, which Jason had laying around from a pulling truck build that never transpired, I think. I know he sold that to do burnouts. How dumb. And then moving on back here. So we're kind of, I don't want to say running out of stuff to do there, but unfortunately we need a couple pieces of angle iron, which is at my dad's, so it'll probably be tomorrow. I think we're going to cut so we can sheet just like we did here, which this sheet's laying here. Cut that little lip out there. I'm going to take the fuel cell out, because we put it in backwards, Jason? Is that what we're saying?
You got to turn your pocket?
I don't know. We put the sum to the front, and I think it's going to be an issue, so I'll admit it. We're going to flip it around, so.
Should get this.
There's no hiding. Oh, yeah, and I got to. Did I order a third one?
No, you only bought 2.
Yeah, well, buy your own. So I'm going to take that out. I'll flip that around, cut the hole, repatch the front one. Jason can work on this, and then that'll be tomorrow, and we'll work on the dry sump tank, get the radiator, and start mocking up lines, fuel lines, and all the coolant lines, get our water pump mounted and stuff like that. So we'll continue on, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
I'm not getting it very good. I think I might have got it finally. Maybe. Nope, I didn't.
Come on. We only got 155. Oh, we got 2 55-gallon drums of methanol. Almost think it's your first time hitting the hole or something. It's wet enough, Tanner.
I think we filled it up.